Just a quick disclaimer before this video starts. Everything I am saying here about zombies is coming from the small section in the game that is hosted on a small section of a map that will be available at launch. Take everything said with a grain of salt, as things could very much change in the full release. Thank you, and enjoy the video. BO7 Zombies, from what I have played so far of the open beta, has thoroughly surprised me. Activision listened to feedback for once, and that caught me off guard. I had a lot of fun playing this admittedly small but still enjoyable snippet of this game's zombies, and while it definitely isn't enough to accurately say whether the map itself will be good or not, the mechanics of the mode and the basic groundwork are kind of promising. However, with all that being said, there are still a few issues from BO6 that carried over that do hinder the gameplay quite a bit, and that's what I want to go over today. What does BO7 improve mechanically, and where do the same problems from BO6 still persist? Where do the same problems from BO6 still persist? This video is going to be short, as the experience I've had was pretty short. I played about 3 hours of the zombies, but experienced pretty much everything significant about the small portion within a quarter of that time. But nonetheless, let's jump right in. Let's start with the good. What did they exactly improve from their previous iteration? What is by far the biggest and easily the best improvement is that boss zombie spam, at least in this beta, is not at all an issue. The big boss zombie in the survival section only spawns for the first time at round 10, and from then on only spawns once every 5 or 6 rounds, and unlike the manglers and abominations that were absolute nightmares to kill, these guys have a reasonable amount of health and very obvious weak points that make them much easier to take down than before. Still a challenge, but now if you down to this guy, you don't feel like you just got BS'd into a death by an enemy that can only be described as the very definition of a bullet sponge. Speaking of boss enemies, we finally got unique ones after almost 3 games of the same recycled characters. Starting with the big boss I mentioned earlier, it's this mutated bear thing. He's got a pretty hefty amount of health, but just like the Margwa, who in my opinion is one of the best zombies in COD Zombies history, fight me, I dare you, has bright yellow weak points you can destroy to take it down faster. The other boss zombie is the special zombies that spawn every 5 rounds. These guys are tiny, fast, and just like the spiders, have an arm like Mike Tyson, but unlike the spiders, they go down very easily and will stop dead in their tracks, sometimes even going out of their way while chasing you to, I kid you not, eat any items you left on the floor, incentivizing the player to pick up anything important they may have left lying around. Moving on from the enemy improvements, it is now much quicker to upgrade weapon rarity than before, not because upgrades are cheaper, but because salvage drops have been drastically increased. It'll still take you until at least round 20 or so to get to legendary, but now you won't spend your entire game desperately collecting any little piece of scrap you find to maybe get epic rarity before round 30. The last minor improvement I noticed is that downtime between rounds is a bit longer, allowing the player a lot more time to take a breather and get any perks or weapon upgrades they need before inevitably being swarmed by an ungodly amount of the undead. Unfortunately, that's where the improvements end, as quite a few of the problems from BO6 very much carried over, the most noticeable one being the point system. The kill-based point system, while great for making insta-kill weapons like the shotgun more viable, does not work for how expensive literally everything you have to purchase in this game is. It can take a while to unlock a door that's as cheap as $2,000, and this problem only emphasizes the problems with another core system of the game, Pack-a-Punch. Pack-a-Punch costs way too much. It will take you a grand total of $50,000 per weapon to fully upgrade anything, and those upgrades are upgrades you absolutely need to have, because by round 25, not even a legendary tier 1 pack will be very efficient at clearing zombies. I've expressed my issues with this system before. Granted, that channel is now deleted, but just to make it clear, I don't inherently have a problem with a 3-tier pack-a-punch system. I think it's an almost necessary mechanic to give the player more options to progress, but the fact that it's this expensive, paired with the fact that it takes ages to even rack up the points necessary to upgrade, means any weapon you get, you are almost entirely locked into keeping the entire game. It severely limits the player's freedom of choice and expression, as by even round 20, a base gun that's unpacked and not legendary will not cut it. it's a liability. In BO3, for example, yes, I know I'm bringing that game up again, but let me make my point. The relatively simple progression system meant that, well, yes, you could get stronger much faster. It also gave the player a ton more room to experiment. Switching to a different weapon just to try it out and maybe spice up your gameplay a bit was a lot less punishing because you could get that weapon to the point that whatever previous weapon you had in your inventory was at fairly quickly. But this new system, because of how punishing it is, completely removes that option from the player. It takes away a surprising amount from the gameplay, and for me, someone who's played BO3 Zombies religiously for 2 straight years of my life, and I am not exaggerating, I was on that game literally every day for 2 years. It required a drastic change in my playstyle. Which leads me to my final point. Zombies are still bullet spongy as all hell. You end up having the same progression as you did in BO6. The first 10 rounds are a walk in the park, and every round after, if your weapon rarity isn't at least epic and your weapon isn't packed, good luck surviving very long on your own. Zombies tank your shots in this game, just like the last one. On my very first run, I had a tier 3 legendary packed AR, and even if I hit all headshots, it would still take at least half a mag to take out one guy. It's absolutely infuriating when all progress you've made suddenly halts because the zombies got too powerful too fast. It almost negates the entire point of having an expanded progression system in the first place because your power fantasy stops just as abruptly as it does in the older games. The only difference is that it stings a lot more here because you had to put a lot more effort into maxing your weapons out. It's maddening. One last quick question. Why did they make the ray guns so bad? It's genuinely dog now. Treyarch has made a point of nerfing this gun more and more for every game they put out, for no good reason. Pretty much all AoE damage it may have had from previous games is gone. The only thing the ray gun is good for now is dealing quick damage to boss enemies, and even then the ray gun Mark II is infinitely better for that. They have massacred my boy. To end this video off, I just want to predict how this map will be in the general direction of the Zombies mode come post-launch. First off, with how this map is described and from the small section they allow us to play, I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're trying to do Transit 2.0. Whether it be a straight remake of Transit or more of a spiritual successor, which is more than likely the case, I don't know, but that is absolutely what it looks like they're going for here. But that is absolutely what it looks like they're going for here, and if so, I'm all for it. Transit needs a second chance. As for the overall direction of the Zombies mode and BO7 in general, I'm really hoping they don't repeat their same mistakes. BO6 had an incredible launch and an amazing first month. I had an absolute blast, but after Citadel de Mar came out, it felt like they stopped trying, and that feeling was only further emphasized by the revelation that Treyarch was using AI for a lot of the side content and events. And while you may say, it's just side stuff, it's not a big deal, it is. It sets a precedent. It shows that they aren't afraid to use it for other things too. If they're going to use it for side content and events, what makes you think they won't use it for larger things in the future? It sets an awful precedent. On top of that, all the content released after the first DLC was just really lazy and very clearly rushed. I completely dropped out of the game after the Christmas event. I do really hope they don't repeat those mistakes, because this game, despite how much the reveal trailer made it seem lackluster, is looking promising. I have yet to play multiplayer, but considering the surprising amount of fun I had with zombies, I'm absolutely sure I will enjoy that mode as well. Despite all that, I will not be buying this game at launch. I did it with BO6 only to get bitten in the behind later. I'm going to give it at least a few months, wait for 1 or 2 DLC to release, and then decide what I want to do from there. And even then, I'll probably wait for a discount. With how many mechanics and things got completely unchanged from BO6 to BO7, and the fact that they are unafraid to use AI to make their game's content, $70, and especially the upwards of $100 for the Vault Edition of this game, is not a price I'm willing to pay for Call of Duty in the slightest. Not anymore. This is normally the point where I end the video, but I wanted to take a moment to just talk. It's been a long while since you people have seen a video from me. Believe me, I am very well aware of that. A lot of personal stuff happened in my life that led to my channel being deleted, and as much as I wanted to come back sooner, I had a lot of things in my life I needed to change and improve upon before even coming close to being able to I had a lot of things in my life I needed to change and improve upon before even coming close to being ready to properly put time into this channel again. I've made a lot of changes over the whopping 10 months I've been gone, and a big one is the video remakes that I announced a while ago, which I want to make an update on. As much as I would love to remake videos like my Minecraft Isn't Bad video, playing that game on my phone is cancerous, so I will be waiting until I have a proper rig to make that video again. However, the Michael Zombies video remakes are absolutely still on the table, and if we're lucky, it may be a video on both the first and second game. It depends on how long they take to finish it. To those of you that actually came back and stuck around to watch a video, thank you. The old channel meant a lot to me. 4 years of hard work went into that, and to know that you thought it was good enough to come back after 10 months and a channel deletion means a lot. With all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next upload. It might be a while, but it'll come. Later.